Hey guys, it's supermexicanmia. By the title of this video, I think you guys already, like, I don't even know what, dude, I don't even know how to start this. This is just, it just sucks. I think it's just, this is how it's gonna start and how it's gonna end with this. It sucks. Like, so I'm going to explain to you, obviously the title of this video is why I broke up with Christopher. And, just, right off the bat, if you guys don't know, Christopher and I, he was my boyfriend. It sucks. Just to hear like myself saying that he was and not like he is anymore. Okay, but well, I'm going to explain to you all of the some of the events as what I can recall that led up to this decision of mine and all of this that's been going on in my life. But it's been basically around a week since we're no longer together, and almost, I think, also a week and that we haven't seen him, or I haven't seen him. So, all right. So you guys know, like, I will always, and I think it goes for like a lot of people, for social media at least, try to put out like our, like, the better image, the best, like the happiness of our, the lives and everything. Obviously I have shared a few deaths, like pets and stuff like that. Like, it's just, but I try to share as much like positivity as I can. No one wants to see like the, like dark stuff or whatever, but it's there. But our relationship was never like 100%, but I think no relationship is ever 100%, but I think it was just, it was really bad. I didn't want to give up, on the family that we had. So if you guys haven't seen the video of when he first cheated on me, like literally the first time, it was with a 16-year-old, and it was, he was honestly demonstrating pedophilic behavior. He was 20 at the time, and she was 16. She was like a little girl, not a little girl, but a girl, like a kid, like, for me to be 24 when I met him, I was 22. It's still like a kid, like. But anyway, I got back with him. If you guys want to see, like, I don't know, I think it's on this side. If you guys want to see the video, it sucks, like I got back with him and everything, and I know it was on me, I know, it's always on the one that like gets back with the one that, hurt the other. Like, obviously you risk putting yourself in that situation again, which I did many times, and he hurt me so many times. And it's, I'm not saying like, oh, it's him, because it was him, but it was also me. And I always acknowledged my like bad behavior, like all, like, how like I was, like, I know like I was a bitch sometimes, but not all the time. And I was just literally trying to be the best partner I could be given my current state. Because so after all of those events transpired, the link, you could watch all that. That was maybe like the first part of our relationship. It did get, obviously, like, some things got better. His behavior did like slightly change, but it's just when someone hurts you in that way, like, it's just, nothing's ever going to be the same, which sucks. And I just like, I was always stuck with that feeling of like, is this gonna happen to me again? Or like, I cannot believe he did this to me, like, how could someone, like, that you love, like, I literally like, and I still love him, which sucks, but like, I loved him so much. Like, I would do anything for him, like anything at all. And like, I think that's why I stayed, because I was like, I thought he would change for the better. Like, I didn't want him to change as a whole person, it was just be better, like, not just for me, for the pets, for our baby. So I don't know honestly when, like, those videos, like when I finished filming all those videos, but it was around, I believe, me thinking things were good, right? Like, after, I guess, March, like April, May, June, July, August for my birthday. It was like, obviously, like, relationship stuff happened. It's like, our lives happened within those 5 months after, like, he cheated and everything, and like he hurt me. And so it was August 2023, last year, for like my birthday. We went to Disney, and I think I posted about that actually. And, I did a vlog if you guys want to watch that too. But we went, the four of us, my sister, her boyfriend, Christopher, and I. Like, it was like 2 and 2. My sister and her boyfriend literally paid for everything, essentially. I used my last paycheck because I think, yeah, at that time I quit my job at Healthy Spot. But it wasn't until then that I quit. But I used like my last paycheck from that essentially for the Disney trip. Christopher at this time did not have a job. Or if he did, I think it was like at Men's Warehouse, but it was like no, he had quit to go to this trip. But he was still working literally part-time job. It would take him 2 hours to commute because he would always take like, I think it was like the train and 2 buses or something, or 2 trains and 1 bus. All the way in Burbank from where he lived like in East Los Angeles. So it was like, you could just imagine like from East Los Angeles to Burbank, like, but like train, like bus, right? And then I was at Healthy Spot. It was like at the Santa Monica location. I'm around like, Crenshaw, Baldwin Hills. So, and I would take the train as well. And then my sister and her boyfriend at this time, she still lived with me, and then her boyfriend lived with his mom. They're together now. They have their own apartment, but just to give you guys some, perspective of how our lives were. So during this trip, this was the first time, like, it was always kind of like something like, not like secret, but like I always felt that he was kind of keeping something from me. And I would literally give him like so many chances. Literally when I met him, I literally gave him all of my boundaries. I gave him like I explained every single thing to him. I was like, I don't want to like just like a thing, I want a relationship. I want something serious. Like, I'm like literally in it like for marriage, you get me? Like, I was like clear from the beginning. And I think I explained that in my that video with when he hurt me and everything, like emotionally. But I explained to him, I gave him like, I would check in there every like maybe I would check in maybe every 2 months, literally be like, are you happy? Like, is this what you want? Like, are we good? Like I would, like, I'm very like, I was communicative. I tried my best, like, to be the very best, like, that we could be, like, we're always going to have like, there's always gonna be like little fights, like little arguments about like little dumb things, right? But the point is, we're in it together. Like, it's not like you versus me, it's you and me against like the problem, and against whatever we're going through, but we're a team. I would always tell him that, like, we're a team. Like, it's not, I don't ever want to start stuff with you, like, like I don't want you to feel like I'm, like this. It's like, it's us. And I would always tell him that, and he knows literally everything. Like, and it just sucks because he still ended up hurting me again. But okay, so we went to the Disney trip, and I would literally also like just, check in, like, do you still want this? Like, if you want someone younger, like, I completely understand. If you're not, if you find someone else, like, just tell me though. I just wanted him to be happy. Like, that's literally it. Like, I was like, obviously I want to be happy, but I'm happy with him. But it's like, if you're not happy with me, or if you want something else, if you want a solo adventure, like, you're young, like, go have your fun if that's what you want. But I don't want that anymore. Like, I want something like, like, I'm in it for life, essentially, like, I'm done with all those like little like, oh, like this is this, the dating apps, like the like, like the flings, the like, oh, just like kind of one night stands, like just like literally not having an actual relationship. Just like, I want something like concrete. And he knew this. So it's like he can't negate anything that I'm saying, because I've let him know many, many times. And so we went to Disney, and it was, obviously it was fun. It was for my birthday. My birthday's August 5th. So we went, then for that week. And I was supposed to get my period around this time each month, literally after like he cheated. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna do this or not, but it was like, it wasn't physical at that time that he cheated from my last video. So I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I was like, you know, at this time I was like, you know, whatever, I'll just start drinking again, or like, you know, like maybe it's not just gonna happen, maybe it's not for me, you know. And then I didn't get my period. I was supposed to get it at Disneyland. I didn't get it. And so I was like already like something's going on. And I was really bloated. And I was like, I was vegan, you know, like I didn't get bloated at all. And like a lot of like the different smells were like, oh, like this actually smells good. Like I was like, whoa, why is this like meat like smell actually like it smells good to me now? And I was vegan like for a few years, but I was vegetarian for like almost a decade. So, you know, it's like, you know. But so then it was this one day I noticed it was within for the trip, and I noticed that he was acting just like more strange, right? Like it's like this isn't how he usually acts. Like, you know, I know something's up. He would be on his phone a lot. We would like get in arguments like literally over little things in line, and I'd be like, I just want to be good with you, like what's going on? Like, and I would always ask him like, please stop being on your phone, like live in the moment, like be with me, like I'm right here, like what is your necessity of being on the phone all the time? He was always on his phone, always in his little own world, and I would always be like, please be present like with me in this moment, like I want to enjoy like spending quality time with you is obviously my love language, like, or one of them at least. And like it's like at this point, how could you not know that, you know? But I would explain to him all the time, or like try to talk to him, try my very best, you know, because that's just all I want. I just want a genuine human connection, you know. I thought at this point like we were like good, and then I was like, something's up. We got back home from the trip, and it was very triggering because I went in the restroom, you know, we put away all our Disney things. At this time, my older sister, she was like in a work trip for her for like a gig, a mariachi, like, you know, musical thing. So Christopher would sleep in her room, or like he would stay there for, you know, during the time that my sister was gone. And when my other sister, you know, we lived together in this room, and her boyfriend was on the bed, Jesus was on the bed, he was just on his phone. My sister, she was like, you know, organizing her things. So I was like, I gotta go use it. I check my phone, I go on Instagram. It was very triggering because this is literally what happened the first time that he cheated on me. Like the girl told me essentially through Instagram. It was like, oh, you have a request. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna just check, you know. I always just like clearing my notifications. I like having my phone like notification free essentially. So then I checked, and it's always like, you know, like the hey girly, or like hey, like, you know. And she told me like, and I have like a lot of screenshots and stuff. I just, at this point, I don't really want to show stuff like that anymore. And I was going to make a video back then, but it was just insanely like traumatizing and horrible for me. Like you have no idea how many days I spent crying and sobbing, and just I remember spending like maybe a day or two on my bed just in the same position. I was just like, it was horrible. Like I couldn't get out, like after like finding out what he did. Essentially, they were physical with each other, like they had sex, like he cheated on me physically, and he would talk a lot of bad things about me, like complaining about me about the relationship. And this was all like going on maybe around like May-ish, like for sure late May. It was May 30th that he cheated on me, because she sent me like a screenshot of him recording her like having sex, like he like him fucking her like from the back. And like I was like, I can't believe like she's sending me all this. And she was like, I knew that you guys were in a relationship, but basically like she didn't care, I don't know what. And then at the end, she sent me like voice memos of this. She would just text constantly and like send me things about it. And then it was just like, I don't know, like it was also damaging, because it's like, how could you do this knowing that someone is in a relationship? Like I would never, like, you know, like I don't know, I feel like a normal like sane person wouldn't do this, wouldn't actively knowing that you know, it sucks so much to find out that way. You know, I loved him, but like at this time I was like, okay, we're getting better, and nothing, like he didn't change. And then it just sucked because, okay, I was like, I'm done with him, like, you know, I was like literally like, okay, I'm gonna break up with him, like this is it. And then she kind of acted like she wanted to be my friend, and like kind of like, let's talk shit about him vibes, like he cheated on us both. But it's like, no, like I loved him, I don't want to talk shit about him, you know, like I don't, like I love him, and I hate it because he hurt me, but I still love him, you know. Like, he means so much to me, and it just sucks that he hurts, you know, he hurts the person, and I still would do anything for him. And I did my makeup to be like, okay, I'm like a little better, but I also just do it to not cry, but I'm still crying. Anyway, she followed me, and then she unfollowed me, and then she would just like would stalk my Instagram page, and I just hated seeing her face. But I'm not gonna block someone because it's like, you know, like I'm not like that. Like, you know, I just please get out of my life. Like, you know, like you hurt me, like you hurt our family. Like, I'm building something with this person, and like it just sucks because he let this happen, you know, like, but they both allowed this to happen, and like I'm the one that ends up getting hurt all the time. So I just read everything. I was just in the restroom for like maybe an hour. I don't even remember, but I was just like, this is horrible. But then I was like, I remember thinking in my head, this is your way out. Like, just break up with him. You like, this is your like excuse, because throughout that like whole like vacation, like at Disney, whatever, I was thinking like, I don't know, I just feel like this isn't working. Like, it's just not, you know, where like I want it to be. Like, you know, and maybe he's just not gonna change like at all. Like, maybe to be a little more respectful, a little more kinder, like, because I know he is. I know he could be. He's a good person. That's why I was with him in the first place, you know. Like, it just sucks to see like a person just not be like, you know, what I know they could be, because he could be amazing if like he really tried, if like he just tried a little bit, you know, like even if he smokes, even if he's on his phone, like at least like just, you know, be something, do something, be someone. And it sucks. But so then I stepped out and I told my sister, I was like, he's been cheating on me this entire time, you know, like maybe if anything, just 1 month, that April after March, between May, that April, maybe he didn't do anything. But I will never know. And that's the thing that sucks, because he was never honest with me. So at this point, I was like, he's been cheating on me this whole time. I was shaking. I was like, you know, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm going to break up with him, but, you know, it's like, you don't want to. I don't want to. I wanted to stay with him. I want to stay with him. And then I was just remember, like, I felt this whole, like, heat on my body, like, throughout my whole body. I was like, something's going on, too. Like, I'm not like normal, but, like, something's going on. Like, I feel something, you know? So then I remember I asked her, did you use protection? Because, you know, it's like anything could have happened with me. And then, you know, I didn't want a baby with him. So it's like, if he ends up impregnating someone else, then that's even worse. But like, you know, I'll be there for you, you know, because I love you. And then she was just horrible. She'd just say like, no, I didn't use anything because he wanted it raw. I don't know what. I was just like, okay, like, he didn't even care about my health, you know, like, or anything. He didn't care about anything at all. And it just sucks. I like went to him and went straight in his room. I mean, straight in my sister's room, where he was on the bed on his phone, because he was like packing up stuff from Disney or whatever to give to his family. And then I remember asking him, I was like, let me see your phone. I was angry, you know, like, was like, let me see your phone. I deleted all of my like card info from all of his, like, you know, like from purchasing stuff. So we were close, like, you know, like, I wanted a life with this person. I wanted a future with him, you know, like, so I deleted everything at this point. And then I was like, so I know you've been cheating on me. And then all he was asking was like, who? And then I was like, you know, I was like, who? Like, you sound like an owl. Like, but like, I was like, you really want me to say this person's name? Like, that's how much you still want to hurt me, you know? Like, I don't care about this person. Like, why would you do this to me? Like, I'm here, and I like, you know, I was angry, but because I had a right to be angry. Like, this person hurt me, and I love you. Like, I gave you everything. You have a job with my dad. Like, and because at this point, because like, he quit, but like, he was working with my dad, and I was like, you have a space here. Like, I give you like everything. I love you. I give, like, you have no idea like how much I love this person. I think I didn't have an idea of how much I loved him until, like, you know, everything that transpired within this last week. So we broke up. He never said anything. He never apologizes. That's the number one thing you're supposed to do. Obviously, like, you're a little kid, you like, something happens, you hurt someone or just something, you're supposed to say you're sorry because you feel it. maybe not even because you're supposed to, but you know you're supposed to, because he never apologized. He never owned up to his actions. He never acknowledged, like, he never, what's that word? Okay, I figured out the word. He never held himself accountable for his actions. And like, I always did, bro. Like, you know, like if anything bothered him or anything, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm sorry, like, I will work on it, you know, like, obviously, like, when I need help, we're working on it, because, you know, you're the one that, like, you know, I want to work, you know, for, basically, like, you know, like, I want to work on this quality or this trait of mine to better, you know, for you, like, because I love you, you know, you're like, girl. But he would never say or do anything like that, like, even though, like, many times, you know, I would ask. He left, and like, I kicked him out, but like, he left, you know, like, that was like the first time that I kicked him out, like, and honestly, I think the only time I've ever actually kicked him out. Like, I was like, you know, get out, I never want to see you again, like, you know, you hurt me. You have no idea how much I sobbed. I was like, he cheated. My whole family was here except my sister, because she was on her work trip. But I was like, he cheated on me. Like, he hurt me. And like, I love him. How could he do this to me? You know, I was like crying. I was sobbing. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, man, like, I love you, you know, like. So he, you know, he left. He didn't even say anything. He didn't turn around. He just left. Like, he like always felt like he never felt remorse, you know, like, for anything that he did. Fast forward to, like, you know, like, maybe I want to say less than a week later from that time, from that August, like, you know, and it sucks also because the girl's birthday was also my birthday, and she would say, oh, like, we're both Leos, I don't know what. I was like, damn, like, that's, you know, and he literally wished her happy birthday before me, which I was incredibly hurt. Like, he was already on his phone that morning of my birthday. And then he rolled over, or he texted me happy birthday to me, and I was like, damn, I cannot believe, like, it was just like, you have no idea, like, the things that I went through and the things that I kept, like, you know, like, with me, because I didn't want to share this. Like, I just wanted it to be like, okay, not like a secret, I just wanted to be kept inside, because I didn't imagine anything would happen. Like, you know, I was like, maybe this is like it, maybe this is the worst that he could do to me, you know. So then fast forward like a week later, I still hadn't gotten my period. I was like, something is going on, and I feel something in my body. And I, at this point, I knew I was pregnant before I found out, you know, like, scientifically, or like, you know, like, I took a test. I felt something. I was like, I think I'm pregnant. So I took a test. I took like I bought like a lot of tests just to make sure, because, you know, I was like, this is, you know, I've never been pregnant before, and I always wanted to, you know, have my baby. Like, he's here now, and I'm just, you have no idea how happy he makes me. He's sleeping right now. He's with his grandma in the living room. But this is where I have a chance, and I'm taking care of all the littlies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's behind me. So I found out, and then I was like, I have no idea how happy and excited I was. I saw the positive side, you know. I posted it, you know, like, it was insane. I think the first experience, or like the first emotion that went through my body was like a burst of like energy and like happiness and like excitement. Like, I'm pregnant, you know, like, I'm having a baby. Like, I kind of like, I'm not alone anymore. Like, I'm not alone anymore. I'm gonna have a best friend for life. I'm gonna, like, you know, hopefully make this little human being into like the best, most amazing person that I know they can be. You know, I was like, I'm going to raise them. Like, they're gonna be a teenager. They're gonna like go through life and like have all their different experiences, and I get to be a part of that, you know. And then I got really sad because I was like, he just cheated on me. He just hurt me, but he gave me the most amazing gift that I could ever ask for. Like, you know, he gave me a son. But, you know me, like, you know, I would never just, you know, I don't want to keep him to myself. Like, obviously his dad had to know that, you know, at least, like, you know, you have a son, you know, in this world, in this life. Like, I'm pregnant. So I think maybe it was like 3 days later or 4 days later after that, We went to the park nearby my house, and I was like, we gotta talk. He didn't know at this point that I was pregnant until we just sat down and talked at the park. It seemed like he wasn't even going to come, honestly, but he came. My sister and mom were there with our dogs, like just in case anything happened. Like they're always there for me, which I love my family, and I'm so grateful for them, because it's really hard to go through this. But I'm really happy that I have a strong supportive system, because without them, I honestly do not know what would have happened to me. But they were there, and we talked. I wrote him a letter. We talked about a lot of stuff. I showed him the pregnancy test. We talked a lot more after that. He hugged me initially. I literally was getting up after I told him I was pregnant. I was like, but I understand if you don't want anything to do with me, or if you don't want to be part of like his life or his dad. Like, I'll do this by myself. I understand. And then as I got up, he hugged me, and he hugged me really tight. And I thought, maybe, just maybe this is it. Like, maybe things will change for the better. And I really thought they did. We talked a lot about things like, you need to get the job. Like, I quit because I'm pregnant, like, and I, it was like healthy spot. I have to carry like a lot of like dog food, a lot of things. It's just like a lot of carrying stuff, and I knew it was affecting me, because those last few days that I would close by myself, I would mop, I would just do a lot of stuff. I'd be like, I feel really tired, and I didn't know at this point I was pregnant, but I also didn't want to continue working, because for me, it just wouldn't feel good if like my peers and I were getting the same like wage, and I'm pregnant, and it's like, I don't want to do that, like, we're like, I'm putting in maybe minimum effort, and they're hella putting in effort, I don't feel good. Like, that's not the type of person I am, I'd rather just not, but I was like, if we're in this together. All right, so where was I? We talked about, a lot of things. Like, he would get a job, he would try to quit smoking, he would just work on himself. He needed, I was like, well, then we're gonna do this, we're gonna be together, like, you need your birth certificate, you gotta get your ID, like, because at this point he had lost his ID. And I was just like, oh. This whole time too, I was like, I really think he lost it at like someone else's place, like, while he was cheating on me, which sucks. But I was like, please, like, do all of these things, like, no more obviously cheating, like, no more doing anything, like, being like present with me, like, this is like a whole nother level. You have to be like there for me. But if you are not like, si no estás apto, if you're not like up for the job, essentially, then you could leave. Like, I'm not forcing, I never forced him to stay. It was always completely like, it was always his choice. I was like, if you don't want to do this, I could do this alone. Like, I have my family, like, and he knows this, like, I literally asked him so many times, like, are you sure you want this? Because if you don't, I understand. I will love you, and I would care about you forever. But, I gave him so many options, I was like, if you don't want to be a part of his life, or like his life, like, I get it. But if you want to, kind of be in and out, then like, you should leave too, because I don't want to be like unstable, like, I will let you visit him and everything, like, But he stayed. He always said that he loved me. He always said that he'll change, he'll do better. Sucks because he never did. I just hate it, because I feel like this whole time it was like pure lies, So I was pregnant, the whole pregnancy. I would, you guys, like, I posted a lot about it. I think I was just so infatuated and like happy that we were gonna have a family. We got Zeus, like, as a little puppy. Like, that helped a lot with my pregnancy, I think, because I felt like, I kept me busy, like, but he just, I would always feel something off, but like, I always would try to ignore it, because I was like, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just a hormone, maybe it's just something, I don't know, but I always would kind of feel sometimes gaslit by him, because it was like, maybe it's just me then, maybe I'm the one that's going crazy, He wouldn't be 100%, like, yeah, he would make me food and stuff, and I understand. I always tell him I appreciate you and I love you. I always would tell him that, and I forgot to mention this, but for Disney, that was the first time that he screamed at me in the street. Like, he screamed at me, like, he yelled, like, he got kind of aggressive, and I was like, I literally stood up. I was like, for myself, I was like, you did not do this to me. Like, who do you think you are? Like, just because you're my boyfriend does not mean you could talk to me and disrespect me in this way, and he was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me, but I was like, okay, well, hopefully this is the last time. But that was just the first time. He would just be like kind of horrible to me throughout the pregnancy. And it just sucks because I shoved all of that like down, you know. I was like, maybe it's because things are changing, maybe because things are different, maybe it is my hormones, like, but it was just him. And it sucks because there's just so much that happened, like so much happiness, but like, you know, I filmed all of that, I posted all of that, you know, like I had the cholestasis, I was just having shitty nights, and I thought he was my person, I thought he was there for me, and like he was, but at the same time it's like he wasn't at all. Fast forward, I gave birth, you know, like early. I got what's that thing called? I forgot what I called. But you know, when they take out the baby earlier, you know, I posted all of that. I literally posted so much. It just sucks because it was like he was always there physically, but he wasn't there like emotionally or mentally, you know. Like it took for like so much for him, and I gave him his space, I gave him like his chance to be alone, to play his video games, to smoke, like, even though I would always ask like of him, like, please, like, don't do this anymore, like, or spend more time with me, like, I love you, like, you're my person. And it's like I just wasn't, but he never told me I wasn't, which sucks. And he would always complain about me, and it's like I didn't find out about this until, so when Camilo was 3 months, I think it was even prior, Chris would just always be smoking on his phone and like playing video games, and I just thought it was like, you know, he needs his time. You know, when he was first like born, I thought we were like gonna be like, you know, a family, like this is it. He didn't have a job at that time. I mean, like he was still working with my father, but it wasn't like a stable job, you know. So it just sucks because like I wish I explained every single thing, but like I just wanted to explain mostly like the reason of why, you know, like I broke up with him, like, and you guys know there was so many great moments because I shared all of those great moments, not all of them, but you know, I tried keeping everything like that was bad and like hidden, because I was like, maybe this will stop, you know. But he would always like, not always, but he would just be like screaming or yelling at me and slamming doors. I remember this one time, I don't know if he was 2 months or 3 months, he was sleeping. It was always over something stupid, and I would always be like, maybe it's because of something I said, maybe I'm the one that starts everything, you know, like maybe it's just me, like, do I need to leave this relationship because it's me, I'm the one that's hurting, you know, like everyone. But it wasn't me. Like I would try my best, you know, to be better, be the better person, but it just sucks when he just wouldn't even try like a little bit. So, and I'm not trying to say, you know, it was always him, but like for the most part, like when things got bad between us, I would never find or try like to like, you know, distract myself or go with someone else. I would just sit like basically in my thoughts, like try to recollect everything, try to just like, okay, like process everything, think about how I can be better, how I can become a better person for my person, you know. And he never did that. He would just always kind of give up. And then he would always say like, you give up so easily, you always just want to break up, you always just want to like leave, like. Now I would always tell him, how could I not feel that way when all you've done is hurt me, you know? Like, I know I'm the one that's staying, but it just sucks because it's like, I feel like he always blamed me for everything, but it's like within yourself, you know, like, yes, I was to blame for a lot, and I acknowledge that, and I would always apologize. I would talk to him about it, but he was never the one to do the same or to even change the behavior, you know. Like I tried my very best, but you know, at this point I was in my postpartum. I'm still currently in my postpartum. I went through a life-changing event since my pregnancy. My life has changed entirely, you know. And it's like for you, and it's always like the dad that doesn't like ever like, you know, it doesn't really change that much, you know. And like a lot of like moms could agree with me, you know, it's usually like the mom's life that changes completely. But so I remember this one time, I don't even know what we were talking or arguing about, but his levels of anger just keep on rising up, and I'm like, like just chill, if anything, you know, like just talk to me. Like if we can't talk, just say, give me a chance, give me a break. Like we could give me space. I need space. We could talk about this another day, or we could talk about this later, you know, just so we don't get all like riled up with each other, you know. But he was never like that, and I tried to be like that with him also. It's like, you know, I have to defend myself as well, you know, like with my words. I remember Camilo was sleeping. He was just a little baby, like literally 2 months, if anything. He slammed the door and he woke him up. He didn't even feel any remorse because he just left and walked away. I don't know if he just went to go smoke or play his video games. I don't know what he did. He was just sitting in the living room and he left him crying with me. I was holding him. Like, he scared me, you know, like from then I was like, I don't want this, but I'm going to fight for it, you know. I want my family. I want us to be together. When he was 3 months, I had a dream. I had a bad dream, and I always have this like thing, like this intuition inside of me, you know, like something is not right. He would like cheat on me, and I would have some of these dreams multiply, like throughout a relationship, multiple times throughout our relationship, and it would just like, you know, be a sign. I would think, you know, like, oh, like something's going on. I would talk to him about it. Sometimes he would hug me and be like, oh, it's okay. Like, you know, like, no, I'm right here. Like, don't worry. It was just a bad dream. But I remember this time it was like a weird bad dream. Like, you know, he was like, he cheated on me in the dream. Like, I don't want to, like, I think I forgot the dream, you know, like to describe it in detail. But essentially he like left us, or he was no longer with us. Like, he left, he cheated with someone else. Like, he went with someone else. Excuse me. I woke up, I got his phone. I didn't check his phone throughout my entire pregnancy, not even when he was born, Camilo, when he was born, because I really thought, you know, and I don't want to be that person. I told him, like, I don't want to be that girl that's always checking on your phone. Like, I do not want to be that, like, because that's horrible. That's toxic to me, you know, like, and I want to try to change it. I want to trust you. I want to have this, you know, like, this thing between us, like, work again. So I tried, like, I really tried. Like, you can't say I didn't, because like, I tried my hardest. And I looked through his phone. I was honestly appalled by the things that I saw. He had another account on Instagram. He had like 3 accounts, like for Zeus, for him, and this other account. The thing is that he would say to all of these girls, multiple girls, like an insane amount of girls. He didn't follow me. He followed all of these other girls. He essentially didn't even want Camilo. He didn't even want him to be born. He didn't even want to be with me. He would just complain a lot about me. He would talk about our sex life. He would talk about my body. He would just complain so much. It was just horrible because, like, you know, talk all you want about me, to say whatever you want, but the fact that you didn't even want our son, you didn't even want him to be born, you tried to make sure that you didn't want him to be born. And then with that one person that he cheated on me with for my birthday, his first complaint, she would tell me, like, oh yeah, he complained that you didn't want to have sex with him because he would smoke. And I was like, I had told him too, when we would have our talks after, like, I thought things were good. I was like, you never told them, right? You never said anything. I asked you to please stop smoking so I can get pregnant. It wasn't so you could just, you know, please stop smoking, you know. Like, I know I met you that way. I'm not going to change that fact about you. You know, that's your life. You like smoking. I understand. I completely understand. But I just asked you to please stop smoking within this month, or like within this time frame, because I want to get pregnant. And he knows this. You know, like, I'm trying to protect my baby. I'm trying to protect my body. Like, eat healthier. Like, be better, please. And he didn't want to, like, you know, I asked him, like, I don't want to have sex with you because, you know, I know what you're doing. Like, you know, like, please stop. Because I want to get pregnant. I want to have a healthy baby. And he just, you know, it just sucks. Because he always hides the truth. He always would do that. And I just hate it. Like, you never told her like that the reason why I stopped, or like basically having sex with you, it's because I wanted to get pregnant, but I know you were smoking and you didn't stop. So I didn't want to, because there's always the chance he never wanted to use protection, which I understood. But that was from the beginning, from the get-go. I was like, he's the one that instilled this idea of like, let's have a baby. He's the one that wanted this since the beginning. I wasn't thinking about having a baby, but then once we talked about it and everything, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm at a good age. Like, I think I talked about this in that video that I made when he first hurt me, but like, so back here, he's like saying all this stuff. It was horrible. Of these messages, I was just incredibly just done. I was like, I texted his mom. I texted his like this other like really close relative of his. This was the first time it's just told them like, hey, this is what your son's doing. Like, I don't want to be with him anymore. Like, I'm breaking up with him. Like, like, I still want them in Camilo's life. Like, like I never want to take that relationship away that they could have with Camilo. Like, that's your grandson. Like, I want him to like feel like love and like get to know you guys. Like, you guys are family. But it just sucks because he's like this, like Chris. So I broke up with him then. My parents didn't know. We still lived together for like 3 days. At this point, I did not know that he was going to so at this point, I asked him to please stop smoking like those blunts, like that you roll the papers, because I didn't want it affecting Camilo, obviously, like inside the house, like, or even outside, because it gets on his clothes. I was like, please stop, like, no more, like, please, like, if you want, like, a bong or something, but no, like, joints, like, outside, though, we always talk to him, please smoke outside. My parents, like, tried their hardest to talk with him, like, they would always ask him, like, do you want this, they were never rude to him, they were always, like, really, like, good with him. That's why I'm like, damn, like, even my parents, dude, like, you disrespected my entire family. Even before this, when Camilo was, I believe, maybe 2 months, my sister helped him get a job at her, like, where she worked as, like a dog groomer, but, at him for a dog bather. We gave him everything, like, I tried making, our place a home, like, it just sucks that it got to this point. But, so at 3 months, like, it was just bad. I broke up with him. Like, I didn't kick him out and everything. We still lived together. I gave him many options. I was like, if you want, we could be separated. Many times I told him we could co-parent, He always said, no, I want to be with you. Like, we'll work on this. I'll change. I don't know what. And I believed him. I mean, how could I not? I always want the best. I'm never going to like, think the worst about someone, especially him, like, I'll keep on hoping every day that he would, I kept hoping that he would change for the better. But he never did. So after that, we broke up or whatever. Oh, but then for the blunt thing, I found he had the rolls, like the papers, in his backpack. I took them out, left them on the desk, because at this point we weren't talking for like maybe 2 days for each other. He looked at me, he just put it back in his backpack, and he left, like, to work. And I was just like, wow, like, you lied to me about this and you lied to me about that. Like, if it's not one thing, it's the other, Since then, we had a huge talk with my family, like my parents and him, like, we're good. It wasn't ever like, we're like, got a bill all in your face or whatever, we're like, they're like literally just talking, and it's like, do you really want this, and he would be like, yes. And my dad would ask him, like, why are you with my daughter? Like, what are your intentions? This. He's like, I want a family. I want to be with her. I love her. It just sucks because it's like everything was a lie. Like, in the end, it was all a freaking lie. Like, it sucks. Like, so then fast forward until now, like, things I thought were getting better, but he was never with us. He would just be smoking almost all the time, if not playing his video game, like the PS5, on his phone. You have no idea how, all I wanted was for us to spend quality family time together, just be with our son. He wouldn't really help me with the dogs, with Zeus. He wouldn't really spend time with me. We wouldn't go out on dates. You could even spend a date here, you know, do a little something at home. He never did anything. It sucks because, like, you know, in my head I was like, okay, like, I'm giving him his space. I'm, like, you know, letting him be his own person. But, like, when is it us? When is it just gonna be us, you know? Like, I know it's never gonna be just us again. But after Camilo goes to sleep, you know, while he's with my mom or something, we could have something together. And it just wasn't it, you know? So I was just like, it just sucks because I stayed these last 5 months, you know, because I thought things were going to get better, because I didn't want Camila growing up without a dad, because I wanted a family, you know. Maybe we were broken, but we were still a family. I wanted us to stay together so bad, but I just couldn't after these 5 last months, because, like, he would just be really bad and mean and rude and disrespectful. And it just got to the point we would just almost argue every day. I would ask him, I was like, I don't want this. Do you really want this, you know, to be the rest of our lives? Like, something has to change. And honestly, it wasn't me that needed to change, you know. I know I had a lot of stuff to work on, and I still do. Like, who is perfect, you know? But he was just always in his own world. He was never, like, up to him, like, hey, I'll feed Camilo, I'll change his diaper, I'll read him a book, I'll do this with him, I'll do this, I'll do that with him. It would always be me asking, like, you know, he would just be on his phone or just completely distracted by what, I don't even know what's going on in his head, or just always wanting to smoke. He wasn't there for us. Like, yeah, he worked, but he wouldn't think about our future. Like, let's save money, let's do this. I have nothing saved up. Like, nothing, you know. The money I did have saved up, I would literally help him buy his weed with it, you know. I would literally try my best to make him happy. To, like, we never did the same for us, and it sucks, you know. I thought things were getting better. I really did. We went to Las Vegas. I posted about it. You know, we went to go visit for his mom's birthday, and so I'm always trying to think about my son. I literally asked him, please get the tickets. We took the Greyhound between this day and this day at this time is best, because Camilo will be sleeping for the car ride. I do not want him, like, you know, essentially like suffering, like being on the car ride, because it's boring. He's a baby. Like, how do you expect a baby to think or feel? Like, they can't crawl, they can't, like, you know, do a lot of stuff, you know, like, and he's on the move right now. Like, he needs his space. So it's better for, you know, like, when it's nighttime to travel. He didn't help me with that. He just, you know, he didn't even talk to his mom, I think, about any of that. He just decided to go with the flow. He didn't think about his family. So when we went, I was really mad, because I was like, you didn't know that, you know, this was the time for the ticket? You know, I didn't get all angry, but I was just like, you know, like, what? Like, you know, like, you have to prioritize our family. Like, Camilo, he comes always first. Like, I was honestly not even wanting to go, because, like, just imagining Camilo, like, for the car ride for on the way back, it was going to be midday, you know, like 6 hours on the bus. Like, he's gonna essentially, like, maybe a nap or two, but, like, he didn't care. I didn't really want to go because of the time thing, you know. But we went. It was good for when we went there, because he was sleeping. He did stay up a little bit. It was like until like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because we got there at 12. But he was sleeping throughout that whole time, from like since like 7, 8 p.m., you know, in the car. It was good. He wasn't even like, he just wanted to smoke, you know, and he was just like obviously with his family, and I understand, but you have a family of your own now, you know, like, you can't just leave us, brush us off to the side, you know, like, we're here, like, we're your main family now. Like, I asked you this many times, like, if you want to, like, you know, go with your mom, like, be with your siblings, like, I understand, like, I'm good, like, you know, like, you don't have to be with us. He always said he wanted to, he loved us, but it's, you know, your actions show, you know. So it just wasn't as, you know, what I wanted it to be. But I mean, what can you do now, you know? And then during that trip, my sister texted me there was a new front desk person working there, maybe a month at that time, maybe. She put on the shirt that Chris gave her for her birthday, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, why, he gave her a shirt? I was like, I didn't know he gave her a shirt. This whole time I had like a thing. I was always afraid of him meeting someone, you know, but I would always tell him, if you do meet someone and you end up falling in love or you have feelings, please let me know. I'll be happy if it would completely shatter and break me, but I want you to be happy, you know, like, you know, it's life, you know, like, I understand, but it just sucks because if you don't tell me, then you're just leading me on with the idea that we're good and we're together, and then yet you're out here doing other stuff with other people, and it's like, you're just hurting me, you know. But he gave her a shirt, and that shirt, we got it when we went on a date to Little Tokyo. It was like a really small shirt, it didn't really fit him, but he was like, I could fit it because he's really skinny. So it's like, you give away that precious moment, you know. So it just sucks because it's like, you didn't even know this person for that long and you're already gift giving. And I told him from the beginning, I was like, I don't want you, like, if you have friends that are girls, I do not want that, you know, like, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want someone that has friends that are girls because I know what that could lead to, you know. Let's just, he would always say, no, we're not friends, she's just a coworker. I would be like, okay, because, you know, it's good if you have a good relationship with your coworker, obviously, you know, they're the people that you spend basically most of your time with, which I understand. But like, the fact that, you know, and then I didn't even know this at this time, I found out about it until like, you know, maybe a week ago, he gave her all these other little things for her birthday too, and I was like, wow, you know, I found so many things last week. I'll get to that, but oh my goodness. The first thing I did, I was like, hey, did you, like, I came out of the restroom, it was in the restroom again. I was like, did you give a shirt to, like, you know, the person's name, like, did you give a shirt to her? He was like rummaging through our suitcases. He was like, huh? Yeah, I did. Like, showing no remorse at all. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? You have no idea how hurt I was. You have no idea. Like, he kept this from me, you know, and I understand why. And I know because before, like, I got mad because he asked her for a fry, and like, even my mom was like, Mia, why are you getting upset because he asked her for a fry? Maybe he was hungry, but I was like, no, it's the fact that he asked her, knowing we have money. He could have gotten himself food, but yet he asked her, like, he's that close to her to asking, you know, like, sharing food. I was like, no, like, something's going on. She's 30 years old. He's 22. Like, you know, it's just, if it's not, and I literally told him this, if it's not with like a 16-year-old, it's with a 30-year-old. Like, what do you want? So then that ruined the trip. I was horribly triggered into, like, just, it was just so bad. It was just so bad. Then on the way back, you know, and then I'm not gonna explode with his family or anything, you know, like, I'm trying to be like my best self, you know, like, I literally told him, we'll talk about this when we get back home, you know, like, I'm just gonna try to have a good time, you know, like, we're with your family, like, this, like, time to enjoy Camilo and everything. It just sucks because you didn't tell me, like, what? On our way back, it was bad. Camilo was just, you know, like, not having it. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have it. I was a baby, like, being in the car, like, all that, and, you know, like, that long. As soon as we hit our 30-minute break, he just wanted to go smoke. And I remember, like, staring out the window, watching him smoke while I was just with Camilo. I was like, damn, like, I don't want this, you know, like, this isn't the life I signed up for. Like, he's supposed to be here with us, you know, like, having, like, being a family. And so then when we got back, things are just weird. Like, it just sucks when you kind of know you're in the end of it, but you don't know you're in the end of it, you know, because now looking back, it's like, wow, you know. A day after, I was in bed, we were in bed, he had work that day. Camilo, it was between us. I was like at the edge of the bed. And he was close like to the wall. I was like, oh, I need to go use the rest. I need to go shit. You know, I always need more like my morning shit. You know, I need to go shit. Like, do you think you could like watch him? You know, and I always had to ask him. Like, he would never offer for any single time. I was like, okay, like I gotta go. You know, use the restroom. And it's always me at like offering. Like, I'll watch him. You go smoke. I'll do this. You go do this. Like, he's never one to do that for me. Like, he knew I had my painting. He knew I like had my hobbies, my things that I do. He never offer. I clean, like, you know, like, can I shower? It's always me asking for the things, you know, the little minimum things, not me having my leisure time, you know, like, it just sucks. So I use the restroom, I hear a thud, and then I was like, no, my heart sank. I was like, no, there's no way. And you just hear like slight crying, and I was like, Camilo fell off the bed. And I didn't want to tell anyone this, you know, because I know it was an accident, but like, I never imagined like my baby being one of those babies that are left unattended, you know. And I was just like in my head, like, I even told him out loud, I was like, I shouldn't have even used the restroom. I should have just like, you know, shat myself. Like, I should have just been here for him. But I was in the restroom, like, me thinking you're with your dad and you're safe, you're okay. So it just sucks, you know. I screamed, like, I literally had my underwear down, like, I hadn't even wiped myself. I was like, oh my god. I like ran out of the restroom. I was like, oh my god. And like, I was like, he picked him up at that second. As soon like I was like right there with him, and he was like, oh my god. And I was like, what happened? I literally did not get angry at him as much as angry as I was more like worried for Camilo, you know. I was like, do we need to take him to the hospital? Like, oh my god, how's his head? Is he okay? And then my parents came, they're like, what happened? Like, is he okay? And I was like, he fell. And she was like, what where were you? And I was like, I was in the restroom. Like, you know, I was in the restroom. I was using the restroom, me thinking he's with his dad, that he's safe, you know. And I was like, he fell. Like, and then I honestly don't know. We don't know what happened. Chris supposedly said that he fell. He was good. He was right next to him when I left him. They were right next to each other. How could you get off of the bed? What were you doing? Like, I honestly think he was on his phone. He was distracted. But how could you do that? That's our son, you know? Like, I was, like, at that point, you have no idea. Like, I was like, I'm never again essentially leaving him alone with him. Like, that's his father, but oh my goodness, like, he fell. And our bed isn't like high, you know, thank god it's like a low bed, but like, oh my goodness, like, you have no idea how, like, my mom, my parents, we never, like, you know, we weren't ever like, why did you do this, you know? Like, no, we were just worried about Camilo, you know. We were like, you know, just be careful for next time, you know. We're like, you know, we're not gonna, like, you know, scream at you, but you could tell he was like, oh, like, he felt like bad. But it's like, you know, and his reasoning was like, I had to get ready for work. And it's like, there are some days you literally just called out of work because you just didn't want to go to work, you know. Like, you really had to leave our son to get ready for work. You could have knocked on the door, and the only reason why I had my door closed because I'm shitting. I don't want, like, you know, like, the whole room to smell like shit, you know. You get me? Like, when we usually do that. And like, but me thinking he's with his father, you know, like, he was okay, thank god, you know, like, nothing happened to him. But I just think his mind is just always elsewhere and not really here, you know. Even though he was always here physically, but he was never with us. There's just a lot of stuff that happened in the relationship, you know. I just my goodness gracious. I just wanted to share, like, you know, some concrete things, like some points to what I can remember and what I want to talk about. Excuse me. It's just, it sucks, you know, that all of this is happening because so last week I had a bad dream again. We went to, what was it? I think it was like mid-November-ish that we went there. So this was last week, like early December. But after that, you know, I kept on thinking things were gonna be okay, but just argument after argument. Oh no, wait, before the thing I'm gonna tell you right now about last week, it was after we came back from the trip, after he fell and everything, things just started getting a little more like bad between us. He got more and more aggressive with me. He actually, like, you know, hands on me, like, he grabbed me, like, it was just, he just got insanely rude and really bad and mean. And I was like, and in front of Camilo, you know, I was telling him, like, you know, if you want to do something or whatever, like, don't do it in front of him, you know. And then I would get to a point where I would like flinch. He didn't hurt me, but he would, like grab me, and then he'd be like, why are you flinching? He'd get all up in my face, like literally, like, like, why are you getting like this? Why are you acting like I'm gonna hurt you? And I was like, because I'm scared of you, like, why are you screaming at me? Like, it just sucks because I love this person, and he got me. He was like, like just human basic emotion. He was mean. And I don't know why, like, I'm not forcing you to be with me. Like, if you love someone else, if you want another like different thing, go. I'll be horribly like distraught, but please go. If you're happier, then leave. He would always say he wants to stay and fix things and be better. But it's like, then do it. Don't just say it, But it was just horrible. I remember this one time we were trying to feed. I was like, it's Camilo's feeding time, and he was gonna go smoke, and I was like, okay, like, go smoke. I just wish, you could fix this before you go smoke. And then he was like, give it to me, I'll feed him. And she just got so like violent, and I don't like how he got in front of Camilo, like, I was like, please stop, like, I'll do it. You're not in a good mood to feed him, like, let me, like, I'll feed him. He was just horrible. And then some of these times, like, my sister would witness how he would get my mother, it just sucks. Like, I think there was a time where I actually thought, like, should I just call the police? Like, I don't want my son, like, getting hurt. Like, like, I know he wouldn't hurt him, but just, it's just that feeling, like, of, like, you're not safe, and this person is supposed to be your safe, like, like, your safety, your security blanket, like, and it just got bad. But like a week ago, I had a dream. I think it was like Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, like December 1st that week. Again, he left us. He went with someone else, or he was cheating and he left. I woke up. It was just an uneasy feeling, and I was like, I have to look through his phone. I looked through it. I saw he was sleeping. I looked through his phone. I didn't see anything. And then I checked Instagram, and then I was like, okay, like, he looked up all of these girls' accounts. One of them was Zex. And I was like, why does he feel the need to do this? Like, why? A lot of his responses, honestly, like, after I would, like, ask him or something or do something, he would never say sorry or apologize. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt this time. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to explode on him. I'm not going to, I'm going to give him a chance to explain himself. I was like, okay, I woke up. I was like, hey, I woke him up. I tried waking him up. I was like, Chris, like, I'm having a bad dream. Like, I dreamt that you left us. He was like, and he just kind of, usually he would wake up and he would hug me and like be like, it's okay. He didn't care. He just went back to sleep. He didn't even open his eyes. He was just kind of like whatever about it. And I was like, okay. I was like, I tried waking him up, but this time I tried a little harder. I was like, Chris, I need to ask you something. Have you been looking up girls on Instagram? And he was like, no. And I asked him, like, I'm gonna give you another chance, like, an opportunity to actually, like, come out clean. Have you been looking up girls on Instagram? And at this time too, it was that, but he also followed like, I think one girl that I asked him to unfollow a long time ago, like a year or two ago, when we first met. He followed that girl again, and I didn't ask him about that. I would just ask him literally about the Instagram and like just like his recent searches. I hate it because this whole time I'm like, damn, like, I thought he stopped, but I think he just got better at hiding everything. And he said no. I was like, I cannot believe you just lied to me. I got his phone and I showed it, like, it was like right there, like, it was like the screen was open. I was like, you lied to me. And he was like, well, if you consider that, I was like, so you agree, like, you agree that you've been cheating on me this whole time, or like you're cheating on me. And he was like, well, if that counts as cheating. I was really like, are you kidding me? This is cheating, like, obviously, like, in our relationship we've been through so much together for this to not count as cheating. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I know. And then you know what he said? He was like, I was like, why do you do this? Like, what is this? Like, like, for what? He was like, I just do this. I just look up random, like, I just type a letter. I look up whatever girl, like, there is, and I look at her profile. And I was like, for what? I literally so many times, I'm right here. you know, like and I told him, like, I'm literally right next to you, like, every night. And I was like, why are you out here playing ABCs on Instagram? But I was like, I know you're lying. All of these people, like, you know, it's not alphabetical order, just random. Like, that's literally your ex. These are all these people are followed by your mutuals. And I was like, what? You know, like, I just hate that he would always lie, never own up, never hold himself accountable, never apologize. We have a son, we have a family. And I was just, at that point, I was just done. I was like, this is not what I want. You know, like, I'm better than this. You know, I was like, I tried so hard for 5 months, like, that one thing, you know, like, I suffered through all those 5 months because I wanted us to be a family, because I did not want Zeus to go, because I wanted Camilo to grow up with the dad. Like, I didn't want us to, you know, break apart. That's why I stayed, you know. But it's like, I could only take so much from you, you know, like, I can only have, like, the littlest respect, but, like, ounce left, you know, for me. Like, you know, I need to get out of this. If he's not gonna change. Like, I just hate it because I failed so long to realize. And I know everyone told me, but it's just, you know, I was in love. We literally got our permits together. I kept on, like, I was like, let's do this. I want a future with you. I want us to be better. Like, got your job. Like, we went to go get your ID. Like, we're doing this. He just didn't want to try. Like, I don't know if he just wants to live life, like, floating, like, by. Just, it sucks because he has so much potential, you know. Like, I love him so much, and I know I told him, like, you're a good person. I just don't know why you always make the wrong decisions, or you always do the bad things, you know. Like, it just sucks because you know, he's better than this. So it was just bad. I was like, I don't want to sleep in this bed, like, you know, with you. And it was like that for, like, some few nights. But even then, like, he would rather sleep on the couch, staying up, smoking, or being on his game, than coming to bed with, you know, with me, or, like, with Camilo, like, rocking him to sleep or something. He would just always see it as a chore, you know, not something that, like, you know. And I would ask him, do you want to be a father? Do you want to be, like, you know, like, a husband? Or do you just want to have a wife? Do you want to just have kids? You know, because there's a huge difference. He always said, you know, like, I want to be this, I want to do this for you, I want to love, you know, I want to be together, I don't know what. I would ask him many times, please help me with Zeus. It's hard, you know, I need to walk him. He's still a young dog. Like, I could only do so much. Like, get up early at 6, walk him, take him on a run, attend Camilo. Oh, Chris has to go to work. Okay, like, I'm alone again. And I hate it because I told my mom, I was like, it's, these last 5 months have, like, I don't know if it was just the universe, like, also, like, you know, I stayed. But it's easy now because, you know, like, that I'm alone. Or not easy, it's always hard, but he wasn't here, so I would always, you know, he was here physically, but not, like, here, you know, with me, like, in that way, you get me? So I just got used to doing a lot of things alone. I bathed him alone. I've done so many things alone, and I could do this, you know, like, being a single. It's like, it's not hard, you know. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be because he had checked out so long ago. So then that day, I hadn't told literally almost anyone about, like, what's been going on. I finally told my sister. And then because her and the front desk are, like, you know, pretty, like, close. The front desk literally told her, like, so many things. Like, oh yeah, he's been complaining about the relationship for so long. He literally said, you guys broke up, I don't know what. And I was like, we never broke up. The only time we broke up was literally that first time when I made that video, you know, in February of, like, 2023, after my birthday, when I found out he cheated. I've only broken up with him twice, you know. I don't know where he got the idea. I don't know what. He would just complain to her. He would complain about being a dad. He would complain about having, like, pets. He would complain about me. He would talk about our sex life. He would talk about me, like, in horrible ways. Like, he told her so many things. I was like, why her? Like, you know, like, she's 30 years old. Like, I was just like, I'm here. If you have something, like, beef, you know, with me, talk with me. Like, it was just horrible. You have no idea, like, how it feels, like, or maybe you do, but you have no idea. I was just like living like, you know, this whole, it was just like horrible, you know, like all he would do is essentially talk with her. He would, because there was like, for their job, there's like a door, like, you know, like the grooming side and like the front desk, but also like babysitting, dog babysit place. He would always close the door behind him whenever he would talk with her, so my sister won't hear. And I'm like, wow, like he told her like so many things about our relationship, and that was a boundary. That is a boundary, you know, like why would you talk about our relationship to a stranger, and especially a girl? I understand if you would talk, you know, to your friends, your sister, to your mom about us, but like, you know, someone who's completely out of this, and if you have feelings for this person, you gave her all this stuff for her birthday. He never gave me anything like that for my birthday. He gave me a Deadpool shirt, you know, like it's not even something that like I'm like, oh, a fan about, you know. It was just like, oh my goodness, like you have no idea how much I suffered, how much she put me through. And I was like, wow, like hearing all of this, hearing everything, it was just so bad. I packed his things when he came back from work this one day. I was like, I don't want you living here. Like we talked, he ate and we talked. And then he was like, okay, like he got really defensive. He always got defensive. I was calm, collected. I didn't scream at him or anything. I was sad. I was hurt, you know. I was like, I don't want you living here anymore. You know, I didn't kick him out. I've only kicked him out once after like Disney. That was when I was extremely hurt, you know. I didn't kick him out this time. I just told him, I was like, I have your things packed. I don't want you living here. He could have done something. There were many times when I was pregnant, I would be like, I don't even want this. I don't want you. Like I was, you know, hormonal and stuff. He still stayed. He was like, no, I'm staying. I don't know what, which was this. It happened like multiple times throughout the pregnancy. And then now, like, I was like, I'm not kicking you out. But he saw it in that way. He told everyone that I was kicking him out. I was like, I didn't kick you out, Christopher. But essentially, he left. He didn't even take Zeus. He just left. He wasn't even going to say bye to Camilo. So then he came back 2 days later, because when he left, he didn't even call. I was like, maybe, just maybe there's a chance that he's like sleeping in the bushes, that he's gonna come back. There's something. He didn't do anything. He didn't even call to say like goodnight to Camilo. He didn't anything, if not for me, for Camilo, you know, for Zeus. Nothing. Every time I would just hope that, like, you know, he would come knocking at the door. Just something. 2 days after he came back, because I forgot what, but he came back to get like, I don't know, more stuff. And then I was like, oh, I need to talk to you, like, you know, your son misses you and all this, whatever. We talked. He was like, I didn't want to talk about like the relationship thing until later, but we ended up talking about it that day. I was like, because he'd send me like a lot of texts throughout the days where he was there. He was like, please, I want to be home. I don't know what, like, I want to be with you and Camilo. I'll show you I'm sorry. I was like, it just seems like he thinks it's going to be like the same, you know. Yes, it was a little thing that we broke up over, but throughout our whole relationship and what he was doing behind like my back and everything, like, no, like this was it, you know. I was just done. Like I was like, I literally even told him when we were talking, I was like, I'm not even crying at this point because I have sobbed so much during our relationship. You saw me cry. You saw me like rock back and forth, like having these anxiety attacks. And it still took you forever to console me, you know, to be there for me. You just let me cry. You know, like, oh, it's just so bad. But essentially, like, he asked, like, you know, is there anything, you know? And I was like, no, there's nothing you can do. There was. He always just wanted me to tell him what to do, you know? And it's like, that's not how this works. It has to nacer de, you know, de ti. Like, you have to feel it. You have to show, like, you know, I would always be like, you know, be more proactive, show initiative. You know, that was his chance. And I hate it because he didn't do anything. He always just expects to be handed, like, you know, like the thing to do. And it's like, that's not how life works, dude. Like, if you want something, you fight for it. You know, you go for it. But you didn't do anything. So we talked, and I was like, no, like, just, like, now. And he got on his knees low-key, because Toby was next to me on the couch. He was like, ah. And then he just got down on the ground. And he was like, he held up, like, my hand. He was like, please, Mia, please. I was like, no, it's too late, you know, like, I tried. He asked, like, oh, what if we go to Little Tokyo, like, as a family? I was like, no, like, it's too late. That's all I wanted, to be a family. He's like, I'll take you out on a date. I was like, that's all I wanted. You never did anything. And now that I'm actually leaving and I'm gonna be gone out of your life, you actually want to now try? Like, that's not how this works, you know? Like, He even said, what if I stop smoking? And I was like, I asked you that many times ago. You just didn't, you know, like, I was like, no. And you're not. He's not going to stop smoking. That's just his thing, you know. I thought his thing was going to be a dad, but not even that. Afterwards, you know, we talked and everything. We actually, like, you know, he fed Camilo. He changed him. We actually got to play in his playpen. I started crying because I was like, this is all I wanted, Christopher. I just wanted to spend time with you. Like, we played, like, little, like, him kicking the ball and everything, like Camilo, and I was like, this is all I wanted. It just sucks that it's too late now, you know, like, all I wanted was just a family with you. I hate it because I know in the future, or maybe Camilo might see this, and you know, things might change in the future. I don't know, but I just, you know, it just sucks because I loved, you know, your dad so much, but I needed, you know, I stayed because I was like, it's gonna be like this horrible all the time. Not all the time, but, you know, like most of the time it's gonna be bad. Us arguing over something, I don't know what, because I'm always going to have that hurt inside of me from all the times that he's hurt me. Or me not being with him, us being alone, and me, you know, kind of being a little more happy, you know, not having that anxiety, not having that, like, stress over, like, this guy over a boy, you know, like, so there was just so much that we talked about, but I was like, you know, like, this is it, you know, like, I wish, but it's too late. You know, you decide to say all these things, to do all the, like, try to be like, what if I do this? He even asked, what if I get a 2-bedroom in Las Vegas? Like, let's move there. Let's get a fresh start. I was like, it's too late. Plus, I don't want to move over there. Like, my support system is here. Like, my life is here. Like, I want to live in LA, you know, like, I was literally up for it. I literally told him, like, yeah, I'll go anywhere with you. It was like before I would have gone anywhere, just so we could be together as a family, but now no. And all these things are just promises, like fake promises, again, you know, broken promises, essentially, because it's like, we go there, but you don't even have a place that, you know, it's not like concrete. You're just saying these things to be like, what if, and it's like, no, there's no more what ifs. Like, we're done. I'm done with this, with having this illusion that you, like, created this, like, you know, like, false reality. Like, no, you lied to me this entire time. You were hiding things from me. Like, no, this is not what I want. This is not what I deserve. I deserve way better than this, you know, from what I've been. He knows everything that I've been through too, in my past relationships and everything. Like, I deserve better. And I thought he would always try to be harder to be that better for, like, us, for me, for himself, for Camilo, for the pets. So essentially he left and he took Zeus with him, because I was like, I can't do this. Like, it's really hard, you know, like, if you can't get Zeus or be able to take care of him, though, like, I will help you find a place, a good home for him. But he took him. He said he could. And I was like, okay. Before that, like, you know, between those 2 days, I FaceTime him, because I was like, your son misses you, you know, and you could tell that Camilo was really, like, he was feeling it a little. After that, a few days passed. He said he would come Monday. He didn't come. Because he didn't even tell me the time. I had to go, you know, I have things to do. He said I was like, you come Wednesday, then I'll be home. He never showed, because he said supposedly his phone was on 6%. I popped off on him. I said all these, like, things, and then I was like, you know what, like, I'm not the one that wants to see you anymore, even though, you know, obviously I still do, but it's Camilo, it's for my son, you know. But, you know, like, it's fine. It just feels like he just makes excuses. And I was like, you know what, whatever. After that, I think I blocked him, and just no contact. And it just sucks, because I feel like he's just happy where he is. He's living back at his aunt's place, and he has my AirPods. I essentially, you know, like, I was like, he could have them. It just sucks, because I tried my best. Like, when he lost his pair of AirPods, like, one of them, I was like, oh, here, right? I was like, you can have mine. I want you to be happy. I wanted him to be happy. And he just kept them. I was like, it's fine. So I every time when I realized that I was like, oh, he has my AirPods, I checked the location, he would just be there. He doesn't have a job, he doesn't have anything, because my sister worked with him and everything. When she found out, everyone found out, you know, all the stuff that he did. And like, even so, it wasn't even just because of my sister or the whole situation. He was mistreating the dogs, you know, like he was getting aggressive with them, and you know, he got fired. So he had like nothing, you know, and we gave him everything. And it just sucks, you know, like this person I love and cared for so much like did this to me. But it's like, you didn't just do this to me, you did this to my whole family, to our family. Like, it just sucks. He hasn't talked to me or anything. He has my email. He could email me. He could have done so much. Every time I hear like dogs barking, it's just the wind, and I just wish it was him. I wish it was him and Zeus, like, coming to say sorry or something. But yeah, it just sucks that all of this happened. All of these events transpired. Just, there's so much. I probably am missing a lot. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. It just sucks. I haven't had the time. I haven't had the right mindset to make this, you know, like, it's been a week since everything's happened, and it just sucks so much because, you know, I love him. But I mean, he's awake. I just put on his sweater. I'm making it, or warming up his milk right now. But it's, you know, I just, all this to say, like, you know, this is how my life is. I'm a single mom now. Yeah. I, you know, will always wish him the best. I want him to be happy, and maybe, you know, I told him, like, maybe this is, you know, maybe some out of, you know, this situation, like, something good will come out of it, you know. I want him to work on himself, you know, like, he needs that. But it's also, if he wants to venture and do whatever he wants, like, because, you know, I've seen him, I blocked him, but on my other, like, my pet accounts, I've seen his follower, like, things go up. Like, it's like, maybe he wasn't ready, but he was just never honest with himself. So, you know, I had to be the one, you know, to make this big decision. But it's, you know, I'm hoping for the better. I'll be okay, I know, eventually. I still, like, sometimes cry myself to sleep, but it's gotten less and less since I did that, like, so many times during the relationship. I lowered his crib down because, oh my goodness, his aunt taught him to freaking, like, you know, pull himself up. So I was like, oh, so I had to lower it. But yeah, like, he's, you know, he's my happiness. He's everything to me. So I know I'll be okay. It just, you know, right now I'm just really hurting. But yeah, like, I just, you know, this is my form of, like, you know, therapy, just talking it out. I just, you know, mi papa, Camilo. Hi, Chicky. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think I probably, like, you know, there's, like, a lot of stuff that happened in the relationship, but a lot of good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff, you know, ups and downs. But yeah. I think, you know, I'll be okay now. I'll be, like, better. I just needed this out of my system, you know. Like, I've been hella talking with, like, you know, my sister. Like, she knows literally everything now. But yeah, let's get your milk. But yeah, there's a lot. But, you know, maybe I might talk about more. Maybe I might not in the future. I just, you know, it sucks because I wanted to do, like, so many, like, our night routine as a family, or, you know, something with him, but, you know, it never happened. I was just gonna be me. It's crazy because during the time that, like, you know, you're with him and everything, he didn't even realize, or he didn't even know when he started to sit. Like, it's so crazy. Just so much hot chicken, my chicken. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, life goes on. I got my driver's license and I got a job. So, you know, it's just, maybe things had to happen the way they happened. And it sucks. But, you know, life goes on, and I'm going to try to be, like, the best version of myself. Try to work on myself. I think I'm honestly, I want to get therapy, you know, like, because I don't want to, you know, what's the thing called? let Camilo have like a, you know, not good mom. You know, I want him to have like a really good version, like the best version I can. How my cheeky? Okay, it's almost done. Okay, just gotta his milk. Oh no, where's your little rag? Hold on, chicker. But yeah, so I'm gonna give my son his milk now. Yeah, it sucks. But you know, I think I should stop trying to. My cheeky, come on, papa. So yeah, it's just gonna be us from now on. In my single mom era. Cheeky, my trigger. But yeah, I mean, we'll be okay, you know, eventually. But yeah, I gotta stop, you know, trying to imagine all these scenarios. Like, what if he comes back? What if he apologizes? What if something changes? But now it's just us. Yeah. So thanks guys for watching. You know, I might I had a lot of other videos planned, but I'm gonna see. It was really hard to like just get time to film this, but also it's like I think I'll be better, you know, like time managing my time. And it's crazy because, you know, obviously I'm his mom. He feels my calmness now. Like I don't have a lot of stuff to worry about. It was just honestly me, like, you know, always having that like, oh, is he gonna hurt me? Am I gonna get hurt again? Now I don't have that, you know, like I think he feels like calm too. And it's like his aunts visit him all the time. He sees his uncle, like, you know, he lives with his grandparents. Like I didn't have that. It sucks because I remember telling Chris, I was like, he won't grow up with a dad. I grew up with a dad. He won't have siblings. Like it sucks. Like maybe I might meet someone in the future, but I don't want that. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to be with Christopher and have a family, you know, like, but I don't know. I grew up with siblings, but I mean, you know, obviously time will tell, life will tell, but you know, I was like, I'm not going to be focusing on finding someone new. I'm just going to be focusing on Camilo, you know? So it is what it is, but yeah. And I am thinking of changing his last name. I'm trying to get all the court papers, like, you know, filled out and printed out and everything, and like have to go over there. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I don't know. But from now on, he's like, you know, Vasquez, like my last name, because it's just apparent that his father doesn't even want to see him either. And like, you know, I even told him like it's not me, like, or like it's not for me anymore. If you don't want nothing to do with me, anything, I understand. It breaks my heart, like, you know, that this is it. But I would at least think maybe Camilo, but I don't know. But yeah, it's just us. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I don't know how long this video was, but yeah, just, you know, I needed to get this out. And I don't know if anyone else is going through this or has gone through this. And like, you know, I'm seeing a lot of stuff on TikTok, you know, like mom's making it, or like it gets better, you know, and I hope it gets better. It just sucks that it just sucks. But yeah. All right guys, see you later. Bye. Bye guys.